Well, I'm pretty much in the process of wrapping up this video series. It wasn't very popular, um, but that's fine. I basically did it for myself, and I'm at the point where I just don't care about any of this anymore. And I don't really care about people anymore. I don't care about what they think and what they believe because what they tell you and what they do are two different things. This COVID basically woke me up. Other people are probably already or were woken to all this, but for me, it was an eye opener that that people who say they believe in freedom and people that say they believe in liberty and they participate in Fourth of July events and things, but when it really comes down to actually doing it, they break. We don't have the strength anymore. We got a lot of Liberty guys that drive around in big pickup trucks. A lot of Liberty guys that have little guns and and they got their boats and things. But when it comes down to actually making a difference and making the choice that is actually quite difficult to make because you have a lot of peer pressure to not make the choice that you should be making, people just falter and fail. And I've seen that so much this last year that it has caused me to basically pull away from society. I think that there's just so much pathetic human actions going on right now that I have actually turned myself off from any news sources. I don't even read gaming news anymore because the gaming news ends up putting, this computer gaming news, but ends up putting, blurbs of political and other social bullshit on their gaming news site. So therefore, I don't even want to read the gaming news because they can't keep their mouth shut. They always have to put their political opinion in things. But yeah, now that I've gotten away from the major fascist corporation that I used to work for, I've actually gotten a lot happier. Now that I've cut off that part of my body that basically it was basically poisoning me, which was going to that place of work. That place of work is deadly to Liberty people. And there's different types of people out there. These people who work in these corporations, a lot of them are born and bred and raised in those corporations, and that's all they know. They might spend maybe a year or so outside of a corporation to see how it really is out there, and you know what? It ends up scaring them to death. Yeah, they're super scared. They're really weak people. They don't have the ability to think for themselves and make choices that actually affect their lives in a positive way. So they have to have somebody else do that. And that goes over like I said, the sheep, the wolves, and the shepherds video. You're going to have your sheep that need to be led by shepherds. But the problem is they go to corporations for that. And if the corporation doesn't have enough shepherds in it, the wolves take over, and then it turns into a crappy, fascist corporation. And that's the one that I was in. And I've been struggling with that place pretty much the 10 years I had worked there. Trying to deal with their fascist tendencies and their socialism ideas. But anyway, the fact that I've been out of there now for almost a year has really made me feel better. In fact, my life has improved drastically. My income has actually gone up by 50% since I quit that job. And so I take that as that, and plus my health and my loved one's health is good. That I take that as I made the right choice. That when God said, Brent, it's time for you to get out of this place, I've got something better for you. Well, guess what? It manifested itself in abundance. So, yeah, and so I've actually done some investigating with some old people and colleagues that I knew before this, and unfortunately, I ran into one colleague who basically succumbed to white guilt and to the blim mentality. He used to be a self-employed person, and unfortunately, he's had too much anxiety and issues and getting too upset with what's going on in the world, and I think it might have cracked him. He's now embracing another Borg mentality, which is the Native American mentality. I'm pretty sure he's using certain types of native type medicines and things that helps him cope with his day-to-day. But it's unfortunate because this person used to be a liberty person, and he used to be very strong-willed, and he, he took pride in his work, and I thought he did a great job in the job that he did. And I used to work for him back in the day as a carpet installer. And it's really sad to see someone who was a liberty person basically get succumbed into the Borg mentality. He doesn't work anymore. He's just like the stereotypical version of the Borg mentality he's trying to follow today. And I wish people would quit doing that. Why do people have to leave one Borg mentality and then go into a different one just so they can feel like they're accepted and that they have an answer? You know, you're not going to have an answer for everything. And that's the problem with this Borg mentality we have today, is everyone's got an answer. Everyone's got a solution to what's going on. And you know what? They don't. They don't. I have had countless things happen to me in the last 3 years where I have had to put on my own thinking cap and had to think for myself and had to discover for myself what I needed to be doing and how to go about fixing my personal issues and how to improve my life. And if people can't just, I mean, maybe that's what makes me a shepherd, you know, is that I see a path that's not leading me in the right direction, and I'll veer and go somewhere that's safer. And unfortunately, it's hard to find sheep that want to follow shepherds anymore. Most sheep want to follow wolves because it's the easier path, right? It's the path of, you know, getting free money printed out of thin air. You know, I was at Lowell's the other day, and I like to call it Lowell's, and I was waiting in line, and the lady's like, she's like, oh man, it'd be so nice if they just throw money at me. And I'm like, they already are. They already are throwing money at you. They're printing it out of thin air and just giving it to you. I mean, I cannot believe I live in a society like this. That this society is so sad and pathetic that we think it's okay to print money out of thin air and give it to people. I mean, so basically, I mean, I'm just saying I am done with this series, and I'm done with you. If you happen to be listening to this, because I don't trust you, because you're too weak, and you're stuck in some Borg mentality that's leading this world into the wrong direction. And I'm sorry for you and for your bad choices. But you know what? It's opened my eyes. I have been told by the world that I'm a bad person because I don't cover my mouth and I don't wear a mask or something. Okay, you're saying that I'm a killer, but I'm not a killer. Okay, but because you are treating me like a killer, then that's how I'm going to treat you. Okay, I'm going to treat you like someone who accuses me of something I did not do, and it was not my responsibility. If you walk around without a mask, you're fine. And if you're someone that's weak to viruses, you need to get the hell away from me. Okay? If you're in a public area, it is your responsibility to protect yourself. It is not my problem. Okay? I don't give a fuck about you. Alright? Because you're willing to take away my liberties and be able to tell me that I'm a murderer and a killer and I'm selfish because I won't wear a mask. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Alright? There's not enough room on this planet for you and me. Alright? So fuck you. Fuck the world. You guys want to treat me like I'm some kind of murderer. Well, guess what? Fuck you, and that's the way it's going to be from now on. Yeah, because this isn't the end of this. No, we have now shown what we are willing to do as a society when it comes to liberty. Okay? It's been pulled out. Everyone now sees the truth of America. Okay? We are done. Liberty is dying and is about dead. So this is just the beginning of the end, right? I mean, when are we going to get the next version? You know, cold season 2.0, you know, cold season 3.0. When are they going to start making all this stuff, you know, mandatory, that you have to get a shot, right? I mean, that's what's coming, people. That's what's coming. Oh, I remember at work, oh, they won't close down the schools. I said, yeah, they will. Okay, now you look back and it's like, yeah, they did a lot more than just close down the schools. And that's what I would thought that they were going to do. But no, they went way far and beyond that, okay? And that's why it blew me away. I realized that, whoa, we are not the country I thought we were, okay? Which means we don't live on the planet I thought we lived on, okay? So I'm going to treat you defensively because you're going to want to take from me because I have and you don't. That's the way it's going to be from now on because I work hard, okay? I worked my ass off my entire life to have what I have. I didn't get this from any kind of privilege, okay? It didn't matter what color I was. I was a laborer my entire life. Okay, I went to school in farm communities, okay? I raised up with people that worked in orchards, people that worked in the farm. Hell, I even worked in charity farms for a church that I used to go to, okay? I'm not this privileged person, and yet someday they're going to be knocking on my door saying, you have to give. You have to give because you worked hard, and that person didn't work at all, and that person deserves what you have. That is bullshit, okay? So from now on, I'm on the defense, okay? Everyone can just stay the fuck away from me because I know you're just coming to take from me because I'm a good person, and you're not. And so you want to fix your life because of your bad life choices off of my back. Well, you know what? That is the most heinous thing you can do. Okay? That is what liberty is. Liberty is the ability for a person to make their choices based on their ability and not from somebody else's. Okay? You do not have the right to take from me that I have earned. All right? Yeah, and who am I talking about? Okay, I'm talking about all you weird, freaky, sexual, retarded people. Okay? Yeah, if you can't figure out what sex you are by looking at your junk, then there's something wrong with you. You have a mental disability, okay? Just like anyone else who's got bad eyesight, okay? Guess what? They gotta wear glasses because they have bad eyesight, okay? If you have tendencies to think that because you have a junk of a woman, but yet you think you're a dude, you need to recognize that you have a mental disability, okay? You have a mental problem, and that needs to be dealt with. You need to find your version of glasses and embrace that instead of shoving it down my throat and expecting me to accept you as if you're a normal person, okay? If a psycho dows the street and kills somebody, you don't expect me to accept him as a normal person, okay? He's got a mental problem. And it's the same thing with you. If you think you're a woman stuck in a man's body, then you have a mental problem and you need to take care of it. You're a super freak, okay? Plain and simple. Yeah, and if you're someone who thinks that they don't have to work, that you were just born one day and you're like, I don't have to work, well, guess what? You do. You have to work all the time. And if you don't deserve to live on this planet. Okay? Plain and simple. If you don't think so, then you're a super freak. Okay? You're a super freak. If you think it's okay for people to commit violence and riot and raid and destroy things, then you're a super freak. Okay? The law is consistent. Okay? You do not have the right to destroy somebody else's property. Okay? Plain and simple. I don't care what happened. I don't care if you killed Jesus. Okay? You do not have the right to riot. And if I was to say something about rioters and call them monkeys because they're out of control and they need to be controlled, guess what? If you don't agree with me, then you're a super freak. Yeah, you're a super freak. You're the reason why this world is turning to shit. Because you do not recognize your bad choices are creating what's happening in this world today. Yeah, you want to point your finger at the people that actually created the bread and butter for you. You want to point your finger at the little red hen. You're the dog, you're the cat, you're the mouse, you're the little pieces of shit that watch the little red hen go through all of the steps to build that bread for you, and then you point fingers at that little red hen and call them the bad guy. Because that's exactly what's going on in this world today. The world has turned itself upside down, is now pointing and blaming the little red hen, and that they're overachieving, and their ability to work and their ability is not right. That's wrong. You're not supposed to be that good. You're supposed to be a dirty person like me. Yeah, I mean, if you're the type of person that makes stupid choices, like likes to use drugs, who likes to eat bad food, doesn't exercise, that's your fault. Okay? You don't take money from me through the government to fix your stupid choices. Okay? That is not my responsibility. Okay? I don't care who you are. I don't even care if you're a family member. Because if you are going to be that heinous, then you do not deserve to be on this rock spinning through space. Okay? Plain and simple. So I'm drawing the line right here and now that says If you're not a person that believes in liberty, then you're not a friend of mine. And you don't belong here. Okay? So, reevaluate your relationships with people. And if you're not a liberty person, be careful who you talk to. Okay? Because we're tired of this bullshit. So this concludes my series of the Borg mentality. I have nothing more to say about it. And I don't care to say anything more about it. I'm just going to quietly go about my business. And unfortunately, it probably won't stay quiet forever because someone's going to come knocking. And but anyways, Godspeed.